Greetings gamers, 7th here. Today we're looking at the PS4 version of Goat Simulator. Now for those of you who've been playing video games on computer for a while, this is going to be old hat for you, but for those of you who game primarily on PS4 and don't really get into the PC gaming, this is going to be a whole new interesting experience for you. This is not your typical game, to say the least. If anything, playing this reminds me a lot of an old PSN game that some of you who did not play on PS3 and are new to PlayStation with the PS4 probably have never heard of, and it's a game called Pain. Which Pain was a collection of small open worlds where you had various characters that you could slingshot across the level with literally a giant slingshot, and use various different motions to cause all sorts of havoc with the body that you were slinging around everywhere. Well, this game is very similar, with the exception that there is no slingshot and you're playing as a goat. But it's basically a giant playground that you wander around and see what kind of trouble you can get yourself into. Now, there's various different goals that you can pull off. Right now, what we're attempting to do here is collect all the batteries, and just knocked one into the water here. Trying to collect enough batteries to activate the roller coaster. The more batteries that you put on there, the faster the roller coaster goes. And yes, there is a trophy for riding the roller coaster with 6 batteries, meaning it's at its max speed. Now, you can grab things as a goat with your tongue. Not the easiest thing to do when you're in the water, as you can see. But you can grab anything with your tongue, and this can make for some interesting side effects as well, especially when you're, say, up on top of a 400-foot tall crane and you happen to jump at just the right time as a hang glider flies by and you latch onto the hang glider. There's all sorts of different upgrades that you can get for your goat. Yeah, I think we're going to restart here. That battery just was not cooperating. There's various different upgrades that you can get for your goat. You can, and some of them you just unlock without really trying. Some of them you have to put some actual effort into. Like, there's one hidden area on one of the maps where you have to grab 4 or 5 people and you drag them to this, what looks like some kind of a satanic pentagram marker, and you toss the people in there. And when you've tossed enough in, they all get sucked together into this huge blob of goo, and you're basically sacrificing them, right? And this unlocks the devil goat, which the devil goat has various supernatural powers that he can perform. And then if you beat, there's a little kind of a fight club type area where if you can beat the other goat, then that unlocks this hugely roided out looking muscular goat that can do a lot of things. There's the tall goat, which is actually a giraffe, and there's different add-ons that you can get for them, like you can attach rockets to the goat's back, and the goat can fly around, although you don't really have much control in so far as what direction the goat goes. But it's just that kind of weird wackiness that really reminds me of Pain, which Pain was always such a game that it's that kind of game where you sit down and you want to do some gaming, but you just can't quite pick which game you want to invest some time into. It's like you sit down and you want a game, but you're not in the mood to play anything in particular. That's the kind of game Goat Simulator is. It's a game that is just a good time waster, in much in the same way that Pain was. And I imagine that this is a game that's eventually going to have a lot more additional areas via DLC and some other things that you can use to explore and get into some trouble. Now, one thing that I probably should mention is that this game is full of glitches, and it doesn't apologize for it. In fact, if anything, it's rather proud of it. You will see your goat's neck get stretched and twisted around in weird directions. You'll get caught in the scenery. You'll see people get shot and thrown 50 miles. You can randomly get thrown out of the area that you're in and get stuck in it. I mean, there's glitches everywhere, but they leave them in there because it's part of what makes the game so damn funny. And it is hilarious. I mean, whether you're playing the game yourself or you're just sitting watching one of your family members play it, you will laugh your ass off at this game. It's fucking ridiculous, some of the shit that goes on, whether you can control it or not. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about for a minute are the trophies. You know I'm a trophy hunter, and so I am going to give you the straight dope on trophies for this game. Oopsie. Well, that sent me flying now, didn't it? For those of you who are trophy hunters out there, you're going to have a lot of fun with this one. There's some trophies that are pretty easy to get just from messing around, not really trying to earn anything. You can probably get about 15 to 20% of the trophies for it. But some of them, the requirements on them are just ridiculous and outlandish. Now notice what's happening to my neck, the goat's neck here as you're walking up this ladder. Notice the animation of it too. Like I said, they are proud of their glitches with this game. But some of the trophies offer a good deal of challenge, some of them to the point of being a little bit frustrating. For those of you who have played the game, you know that I'm talking about the Flappy Goat trophy. Yeah, but some of them aren't too bad, and it does have a plat. This is an ongoing trend lately. It's been a lot more with the PS4 than it was on the PS3. Most times on the PS3, if you bought a downloadable game off the PSN, it had trophies, but it didn't have a platinum trophy. A lot of the newer ones coming out for PS4 do have platinum trophies, and this is one of them. So if you are dedicated enough, you can prove yourself to be a master of the goat with Goat Simulator. Now what we're doing right here is we've managed to get on top of this container, and there's a robot inside that we're trying to get to. And it's not the easiest thing to get in. So we're trying to use the rockets to try to propel us into it after dropping off the edge here. And we missed. And like I said, you can propel yourself pretty far with these rockets, but you can't steer yourself worth a crystal shit. So, looks like I'm gonna, land at the back of the, yep. So now we're gonna have to walk all the way back over there and try it again. Though there's also time trials that you can do with this game, which I can't remember if the time trials were in the PC version or not, but basically you have to score so many points in a certain amount of time. So it's a race to cause as much chaos as possible in the time allotted you. You also have this neat little slowdown mode, which gives you a little more of a semblance of control over your character when you're moving in slow-mo. It can make it a little bit easier to control where you land when you're trying to do special jump shit. So we are currently trying to maximize our accuracy to be able to bounce from trampoline to trampoline here. And yes, there is a trophy for bouncing from trampoline to trampoline 5 times without hitting the ground. So lots of fun things for you to earn in this game. I guess the real question is if Goat Simulator is worth the $10 you're going to have to pay for it on PlayStation Network. Well, of course, you're getting a game that has a platinum trophy and 2 areas to explore in, and I got it on sale via PlayStation Plus for $8, so I got a little bit of a discount on it. If you have it on PC, then obviously it's not going to be worth the added advantage unless you really want the trophies. But if you haven't played this game before, despite all of its glitches, I definitely recommend it, especially if you've got family members that you can play it with, because the hilarity of playing it with friends makes it well worth the $10. It's definitely a wacky game, and definitely will give you hours of entertainment. Trust me on that one. At any rate, go ahead and try it out. Until next time, this is 7th.